Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the number one place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure. There's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion, and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. Well, hey there, studio fam, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, I have to start by saying this has been a really big week for many of the studio owners in my mastermind. Maybe you're feeling it too. I don't know. But it wasn't just one or two. It was quite a lot of them. I think we were close to 5 who are having real challenges and issues and hard things and having hard conversations. It was really the kind of week where you would look around and think, wow, this job is not for the faint-hearted. And, you know, we semi-joked about maybe it being Mercury in retrograde, or maybe it's just life. But it really was a reminder that running a studio is taxing, it can be lonely, and it can feel like a lot. And so if you are feeling like that this week, please know that you're not alone, and you don't need to be lonely. You can absolutely reach out to our community. But yeah, it was a real eye-opener. And as I said, we've got through it with the conversations and the support of each other. And so it is just a good reminder for everyone, if you are feeling that way, don't do this alone. But off the back of that, in the middle of one of those conversations this week, I did have someone ask me, and it's a question that I do love, you know, if I was starting all over again now, what would I do first, or how would I do it differently? And, you know, there are multiple areas where I could answer this. And before I go into details with you, I just want to tell you why my answer is different now than it would have been 5 or 10 years ago. And it's simply because the customer, the parents that we're dealing with, the students that we are dealing with in 2025 are different. There's no right or wrong. It just is. They are different. So let's be real. The families who are coming into our studios now are not the same as the families that you were enrolling, say, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They, of course, want their child to feel safe and special, which is absolutely fine. They want to feel heard and connected. They want that connection piece. They want to feel important, and they want quick, they want easy and convenient, because everyone is so busy. And in a lot of cases, they want this before they even start thinking about the dancing side of things. They also are more willing to speak up. You've probably experienced that. And they're also more willing to walk away fast, find something better in their opinion, if their expectations aren't met. There's also a really strong feeling of, I'm paying you good money, so I expect blah, blah, blah attitude. And, you know, we can sit there together, we can roll our eyes, we can wish it was different. Or we just accept that this is actually what it is. And then we decide how we are then going to meet that head on in a way that still aligns with our studio values. All right, so how do we do that? How do we meet it head on? Now, you're going to do this by knowing exactly what to say, what to do, and how to respond in every key moment of a student's journey or a parent's journey, because this is ultimately going to portray an element of confidence that is heard, that is seen, and that is felt by anyone who's inquiring, anyone within your space. So this means, like, when they first reach out, when they first see you online, when they first get that recommendation, when they walk in for their first dance class or their first trial, when you follow them up, you have that confidence behind what it is, what the process is. exactly what to say. It's when it's time to enroll. It's when there's a problem or a concern that you need to address. And this is both with the student and the parents. It's the tone that you set. It's the words that you are choosing. It's the way that you make them feel. And this needs to be consistent across your whole team. So if it's not just you having these conversations or doing all these steps, it needs to be replicated by your team. Because here's what I believe to be true. They're not just buying dance classes. They are buying the experience. And the experience starts long before they start doing their first steps in the class. And a real life example of this, so this week I went to the dentist, which, like majority of people probably listening, I hate the dentist. I would much rather give birth again than go to the dentist. However, I know it is something that I have to do. And about 2 years ago, I actually got recommended a dentist from a friend who said, look, I go here. She's a really great dentist. So go and give it a try. And I did, because otherwise my fear wouldn't let me go to a dentist. And can I tell you, this is the most beautiful, calming space to go into, for obviously a stressful experience. The staff are friendly, they are calming. The aesthetics of this place is absolutely beautiful. So the experience is phenomenal. But on the flip side of that, I pay more. So my gap that I'm paying from my health insurance is a lot more by going here. But I choose that because I'm choosing the experience over the cost at this point, where I'm very blessed to say that I can do that. But it was just a really good reminder of this is what people are experiencing when they come into our studios. They're not just here for dance classes, they're here for a package deal. So it's up to us to put that together. All right, so by the way, I went to the dentist. It was the most incredible experience, like no pain anymore. It's amazing. Anyway, that was a side note. All right, what to do? So what would I do if I was starting again? If I was starting again in my studio, one of the things I would do is build a solid communication framework. So I'd have go-to scripts and responses for every key interaction. Now, why would I do this? Because when you nail the way you communicate, you then are showing parents that you're listening and you've heard them. You're making the experience quick and easy for them. They just want convenience. You're building trust from the start and creating that sense of belonging. So for their child, which is really important to them, but also in a lot of cases for the parent as well. And when those things are in place, then everything else, like your enrollments, your retention, your word of mouth, it all gets easier for you. So if you don't adapt to this shift in the parent expectations, here's what can happen. They could inquire but never trial because maybe they didn't get a quick or a confident response. So it leaves them feeling unsure, or it leaves them feeling confused. And we know that a confused mind will not buy. If it's too hard to search for answers, then it's just easier to move on. They may trial, but they won't return because their child didn't feel like they were welcomed or felt noticed or felt special during that lesson. Maybe they re-enroll elsewhere because another studio made the process easier. So again, it goes back to that convenience piece. Now, you might never know why they left, just that you're consistently trying to replace the ones who do go. All right, so how to adapt without losing your values. Now, this is where many studio owners will get stuck because they think adapting to meet parent expectations means lowering their standards or letting parents run the show. And honestly, it really doesn't. It just means owning the customer experience. So deciding how you want your families to feel and then create consistent language, systems, and touch points to then make that happen on your terms. So you get to set the boundaries. You get to lead the culture, but you do this in a way that meets people where they are at in 2025. And this is exactly why I've created this Done For You retention kit. because most studios are winging these conversations and it is costing them students. So this is a free resource that I have for studio owners right now. And if you do want to download it, inside you get a follow-up phone script that will turn trials into enrollments. You get the teacher language for the classroom that will make a new student feel like they're part of the family from day one. It has scripts in there for your front desk conversations that will get those early re-enrollments without feeling pushy, or a brand new family coming in to start those conversations, because they all need to be slightly different. You also get follow-up tests, text and DM templates that will bring people back without chasing them. So those ones who have ghosted or who have left, these are the templates that you can start reaching out with. Each script is warm, they are professional and aligned with the values of a great studio, and you tweak it to make it exactly what you want for you. Now, what I thought I'd do is let me give you a couple of quick comparisons. So for example, a trial follow-up. The old way might have been, "Hi, just wondering if you wanted to book in for a class." Now I would be getting really personal. "Hey Sarah, just checking in. We loved having Mia in the class this week. She is the right fit in this group. Is there anything we can help with, or is there anything you'd like to know before signing her up?" And so when you compare the two, the first one feels like a transaction, where the other one just feels personal, connected, and easy to respond to. And I appreciate the time. There is a little bit more time in doing that. But again, you have the templates and you have it ready to go. So whether it's you doing this follow-up or whether it's one of your team that are doing it, you just know that there's that extra layer of the personalization side of things. Okay, here's an example of another one, like a re-enrollment. So the old way might have been, "Enrollments are open, let us know what classes you want to book in for." Now I'm heading down a path of 2025. This is the way I would do it. We're starting to plan for next year's timetable and it's looking amazing. Caveat, hopefully you are starting to do that right now. If you are keen to keep dancing with us, we really hope that you are, make sure your spot is saved early because they do fill quickly. And so when you look at that first one, it is putting a bit more of the burden on the parent to take action and make those decisions, where the other one just will guide them naturally, like, "This is what we're doing and this is how it's going to benefit you." So can you hear how there's slight tweaks in the language and the tone that is just perceived a little bit different for your families and your parents? Now, it's not about being the scripts being robotic. Some people will hear that word script and think, "Oh, it's fake or it's mechanical," but that's not what we're doing here. The best scripts are just simply the best version of you on paper. And they give you and your team the words, the tone, the structure that works so that you can deliver them naturally. And that's how you keep your customer experience consistent without it relying on just you being there to do every single one of the conversations or email responses or text messages. And when you do this consistently, parents are then going to meet you. When you're consistent with this and meet the parents where they're at, that's making them feel heard. That's making them feel understood and valued. And you're not just filling classes. You're actually now building the loyalty, and that's when the loyalty shows up as higher retention, more referrals, less pressure to run those constant promotions, and that stronger studio culture that we talk about a lot that parents also want to be a part of. Okay, so how do you start? If you're listening to this and thinking, "Okay, Jen, I don't have any scripts, where do I even start?" Well, here is my advice. Pick one of the 5 big moments in your studio's parent journey. Maybe it's the first inquiry, the trial booking, follow up after a trial, re-enrollment conversation, or handling a concern or a complaint. And then just write out exactly how you would want that conversation to go. Then you practice it. And then you just make sure that your team can deliver it in the same tone and style. And then you just need to do that for each key moment that you've got yourself, and then you've got yourself a communication framework that will work in 2025. And it's one that parents will respond to because it's built for the way that they think and they feel now. So to answer the question, if I was starting out again, one of my first priorities would be to create and document a communication framework. Now, like I just mentioned, this is something that you can definitely do yourself, or if you are just ready to make this part easy, if you want the exact scripts that I use, if I was starting over again in 2025, you can download it for free. It's a done-for-you retention kit. It's practical, it is ready for you to use, and you can grab it. I will leave a link in the show notes, or you can simply send me a DM on Instagram, which is _JenDalton_, and I'll just send it through to you. All right, so this is where you're going to start. Meet the parents where they're at in 2025 in a way that still aligns with your values. You want to nail those conversations that matter most and just watch how much easier everything else becomes. All right, everyone, I hope your week has been better than it was last week. And as we're moving further into the year, that you are starting to think about next year, what that might look like. Don't forget to go back and listen a couple of episodes ago about pre-planning. So thinking about what you want to improve, what you want to change, so that this time next year, you're not in the same position that you are right now. Always here for any help and support. Love to you all. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at @JenDalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.